Tonight is about donating for democracy and our Crimson Goes Blue portfolio. You know, the portfolio, creating it and updating it is a year-round effort, and it involves many moving parts. We research a ton of races, both at the state and federal level, and organizations, and we use our partners at Swing Left, who are the data gurus about candidates, and they also have kind of the inside scoop on, you know, what's going on behind the scenes of campaigns, and we rely on them a lot. And then we narrow down the options to where your funding can move the needle the most, because not every dollar makes it more likely that a candidate will win. And then we have to keep up with where we are in the election cycle. Like right now, we're funding Democrats who are incumbents, but later we're going to want to fund the Democrats who are going to try to flip seats, particularly in the House, but we don't know who those candidates are, so it's not time to fund them yet. When we think about smart political giving, we kind of have it in three tranches right now. One is to help Democrats win in elections that will determine the balance of power. We've added this new type of organization, the legal groups that are challenging all this terribleness that Trump is throwing at us. And we will continue to fund groups that are building voter power, protecting the freedom to vote through their grassroots efforts where they work year-round in critical districts. So fast out of the gate, once Donald Trump was reelected, kills me even to say it, was Democracy Forward, who you will hear from tonight. But let me just say that they have filed over 70 legal actions to challenge Trump's executive orders, and they lead a coalition of over 500 pro-democracy organizations. We're also funding State Democracy's Defenders Action, who is working for free and fair elections and to take election deniers to task. So you'll see that a lot goes into how we think about which races are we going to support. Are these races competitive? Are they consequential? How much money have these candidates already raised, and where are we in the cycle? So we're starting out with 5 candidates who are House incumbents who won by the tiniest of margins. Adam Gray, I think it was 184 votes, and you'll see where they're distributed across the country. This is our first tranche of candidates who we want to get early money to. And in general, we're looking at close, winnable, underfunded races that will affect the balance of power. So let me say a little bit more about that. Underfunded is a key thing for us, and you will see many other groups who are supporting candidates in close races, but they're not thinking about the fact that those candidates have plenty of money already. So you won't see us like, I don't know, maybe need to say this softly, but we never told you to give money to Biden or Harris because we knew they had millions and millions of dollars. We wanted your money to go farther. And then when we think about the balance of power, the way our democracy works, whoever has the majority has such a disproportionate amount of power in our government that winning the majority is so key. When we have 47% of the Senate, but they have 100% of the committee chairs, it's not a great system, it's not fair, but it's the way it is. And so we really desperately need to flip the House back so we can gain back some power. Here's what we know. Millions of dollars that are donated to Democratic candidates are wasted either on races that are unwinnable or races that are flush with funds. So here's an example, just 4 of perhaps our favorite people in government. But ones who won their races by greater than 10 points, AOC won by 39 points. She didn't need your dollars. So we're going to help you give to the races where those dollars are much more critical. We are really, really proud of our track record. First of all, our win-loss record in 2024 was 50-50. Now you may say 50-50, I would much rather bet on more winners. And let me tell you, it'd be so much easier to make the Crimson Goes Blue portfolio if I only had to pick the winners. It is much more difficult to predict the really close races. So when you hear groups say, we supported these 7 candidates and they all won and aren't we great? They're not so great. Look for the 50-50, and that's what we really try hard to do, and we achieved in 2024. Now, when we look at donations, just what the average Democratic donor gave to House candidates in the 2024 cycle, 42% of those donations went to races that were decided by the single digits. For the CGB profile, 98% of our funds went to candidates whose races were decided by the single digits. So just by giving through us, you change your odds from 42 to 98, and I like those odds, and I hope you will share those odds with your friends. Imagine if more money had gone to the close races that we recommended, maybe we would have held on to the House, because of 3 seats. We're talking 3 seats. Okay. What does the early money do now? The early money you contribute for elections, we have to think of elections as a year-round effort. I know you have heard the complaints about Democrats and how they come swooping in September or October before the election and how it's too late. Well, giving money early allows candidates to get it together early, to both hire staff and activate volunteers, but also to show their strength. And that discourages the Republican opposition because it looks like, boy, our candidates are really strong. Maybe we're going to go elsewhere. And I'll just give you one example right now. In Virginia, we have a governor's race. Our candidate, Spanberger, oh my gosh, what is her first name? Has in the bag 14. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you. I knew it wasn't Alyssa, that's Slotkin. Okay, Abigail Spanberger has $14 million in the bank right now, and her opponent has $3 million. Well, you won't hear us asking you to give more money to Abigail Spanberger, but in addition, the Republicans are kind of quaking in their boots because they're so far behind already, and maybe they will kind of cede that one to us a little. So that would be awesome. And then, of course, we want early money or year-round money to go to these legal fights that are going to just keep on coming. So with the CGB portfolio, you can donate with confidence to invest in a stronger democracy, and we will do the rest.